All right, so this is going to be the first of three 19-inch G07 chassis that were sent to me from the Time Rift Arcade and the Electric Starship Arcade down in Texas. This particular one came from the Electric Starship. No, this particular one came from the Time Rift. And then I have two more that came from the Electric Starship who they say that all three of them are just totally dead. I'm like, okay, well, they asked first of all, I got a text message from the owner and said, hey, would you be willing to work on some G07s for me? And I sent a message, a response, and said, okay, well, what's wrong with them? The next thing I know, they're at my doorsteps. I didn't get a chance to really find out till they were already here, but it turns out that all three of them are totally dead. And so I went ahead and just opened up the first one, and sure enough, the reason it's totally dead is because the F901 fuse is blown because our flyback is bad. So this actually is a replacement flyback, and if we look, it doesn't take long to decipher here that the flyback is cracked right there and oozing its guts out. So our flyback is faulty, and of course, whenever the flyback fails, it takes out F901. Now somebody has remotely installed an F901 here, which is fine, I guess. I'd like to go ahead and put the proper one back in, but if I have a replacement fuse, I'll do that. Of this size, I don't think I do, but we'll look. Anyway, the replacement flyback has oozed its guts out, took out F901, that's why it's totally dead. So I'm about 99% sure that if we just replace the flyback and the fuse, it'll turn right on. But somebody decided to, instead of disconnecting the connector, they just hacked the, hacked the wire right off. So that's very interesting. But I think what we're going to do first is we're going to desolder the HOT and just do a light bulb test on this to verify that the power supply section is working. Then we'll just change the flyback and the fuse and probably be fine. However, I do kind of want to do a cap kit because somebody has strategically installed some caps like this one, and this one, that one, this one, that one, and this one have been changed, but all these other ones, all these, this one here, no, these, I'm sorry, these here, these ones in here, yeah, maybe just, but it's like a partial cap kit. So I'm going to do a full cap kit on it. Won't be a big deal, but that'll be later. The caps aren't going to be the cause of this issue. So I'm going to go ahead and desolder the yellow wire off of this HOT. And I'm going to start using a fume extractor from now on. So okay, that's off. Now, the lowest setting on this thing is really loud. I'm using this fume clear device thing, got off Amazon, fairly cheap. But I'm going to start using the fume extractor from now on instead of just using my fan. It's about the same noise, I think, but regardless. Okay, so with the yellow wire desoldered from our HOT, we can not have to worry about the horizontal circuit firing up. So now we can do our light bulb test and isolate our power supply and verify that our power supply is functional. So I believe we connect to this side of the resistor, which is the regulated side. Our other lead has to go to ground, which we can connect to over here, right there. And I want to hook up a meter. And we can just go ahead and test this. But first, I'm going to have to cut our wire here and figure out, actually, well, yeah, I'm gonna have to do this for testing it. And my strippers are in the garage, so I guess we'll do this the old-fashioned way here. Okay, so now we have that. We can grab our power here, and what we'll do is just kind of twist this real quick. And we'll just shove the wires in the connector here. It'll work just fine. Okay, there they are, secure, wires out of the way. Light bulb, okay, now let's grab our meter, go to volts DC, and all right, we'll set up to read power. Actually, let's just turn it on like this, 1, 2, 3. Oh. How about this side? Nothing? Nothing. Oh, you know what? Oh, boys and girls, today is not going so well. I forgot to change the fuse. That might help. You know what else might help is, that fuse gave me a little shock because I forgot to energize the filter cap. So on the G07, if you try to fire this up on a bench like this that you just saw me do and it doesn't turn on, and you don't discharge the filter cap manually, it will give you a nice little zap. So it went back through F901 here and gave me a little zap on the fuse holder. So I'm going to flip this over here. I'm going to manually discharge this across the positive and negative leads, which is this one, and we're going to get a nice little zap here, hopefully, or pop. So, oh, nope, I already discharged it across my fingers. That's why. Okay. Yep. So if you have one of these and you're doing what I'm doing and it doesn't power up, don't forget to discharge the filter cap like I just forgot. You won't get injured, but it'll give you a nice little zap is all. Nothing like the high voltage. All right. So I got this all back together, and let's see if I can grab a fuse here. The problem is this fuse is like a point, it's less than 1 amp, and I'm pretty sure I don't have one that's this configuration. I've only got the ones you're supposed to have in there. 1.25, that's not right. Is it 1.25? Yes. Nope. I thought it was 1.25, but it is 1.25, but these are the ones that I've got here. And these are the ones that have the pigtails on them already, and you can just fold the pigtail and install it in the chassis. But I don't know if the person previously that worked on this, or because it says on the back here, new caps with coil and flyback, October of 2016. Well, it doesn't have new caps because these 3 here and these 3 over here are 100% original. So I don't know what they're saying about that. But what we can do is I can grab a couple of alligator clips here and clip onto here and clip onto here. What reading did they have in there originally? 1 amp. Okay, I guess close enough. At least they don't have it overrated. That's good. Refrigerator. Anybody recall that commercial? Refrigerator. If you do, 10 cool points to you. All right. Okay, let's try it with a good fuse now. Where's my lead? Stuck down here. All right, let's try this again here. 1, 2, 3. Hey, there we go. Imagine that. Okay. And our B plus is 116.8, which is a bit low. It's supposed to be 120. However, the light bulb is not a perfect analog for the CRT as far as a load on the circuit. It's more closer to about, I don't know, a volt or volt and a half. So in actuality, we're probably about 119 or 118. And I can adjust this here. Whoa, man. Well, that pot is dirty. See, now I'm at 119. Let's try this. Let's turn this off. And the adjustment pot is right here. This one right there. And I'm going to spray this here with some contact cleaner. And just go back and forth, turning this back and forth a little bit more, back and forth, and we'll set it to about 95% of its maximum travel. And this is the stuff that I use here. So now let's turn this back on. None of this stuff is conductive, so turn this back on, and we get 116.9. If I adjust this up, yeah, see 119 point, there's 120. That's the, well, that's, the pot is 100% maxed out right now. So like I say, this bulb isn't a perfect load, so we're gonna have to turn this back down to about, I'd say roughly 117.8. And when a real CRT is hooked up, it might actually be closer to 120. But okay, functioning power supply. That's good to go. And we don't need to worry about discharging the filter cap because our light bulb hooked up in the circuit did that for us. So only have to worry about discharging the filter cap is if it doesn't power up. When you give it AC power, nothing happens. You got to manually discharge that filter cap, because right now it should be good because the light bulb was hooked up in circuit and that was the load on the system. So should be fine. All right. But just to be sure, we can flip this over and put our screwdriver across the two contacts and we get nothing. Okay, as suspected. All right, boys and girls, so what do we do here? We need to remove this flyback, install a new one that I have right here. And there's no guarantee that this one won't last 5 minutes, 5 hours, 5 days, 5 months, 5 years, who knows. But right now, these are the only options we have. So we just have to hope and pray. And it's a little bent up here. All these are a little bent up. That's interesting. All right, anyway, brand new one. So let's get this one desoldered. And I'm not sure, again, I don't have the proper fuse for this. Alright, HOT yellow wire is re-soldered on. So that's good. And I don't have the proper, well, I have the proper fuse, I'm sorry. I don't have the fuse they have here. I don't have any of those. Especially it needs to be also be a fast blow, not a slow blow. So, and that's what that one is. But I guarantee I don't have any 1 amp fast blow in that style. So I'm going to go ahead and just remove this mod, and if the guys down at the arcade want to reinstall it later, they can. But I'm going to remove this mod and install the proper style fuse that's supposed to be in there. So okay, that being said, let's do that first. Let's go ahead and get that done first. Just going to yank these out of here, and that's going to be that wire and this wire. And we can now unscrew this. Or can I? There we go, and I'll put this back in the box with the chassis, and they can put that back on if they want to. But now I need to get rid of this solder on here. Okay. And we'll take this little fuse here and bend the legs. And put it in here the way that it's supposed to be. Wait a minute. I desoldered the wrong points here. Why didn't you say something? You guys sat here and watched me do this and didn't say a dang thing. Why would you do that to me? There we go. Let's try this again. Hey, there we go. Imagine that. Okay. So now our fuse is in. And there we go. Now you don't need to fill those holes back up, but I do it anyway because I'm a little OCD. Alright. So with that done, now let's get this flyback out of here. And it looks like somebody was very nice to me and decided to use a whole crap ton of solder, which you don't have to use a whole crap ton of solder. And I'm going to turn this thing up because it's not doing that good of a job. If you can't hear me, I apologize. Okay, so that should get us out. Is it screwed in? Yep, they didn't even screw it in. It's missing the screws on the side. So we'll make sure we get that installed properly. And they didn't trim this off. That might have been part of the problem. So you have to route this properly, and I'll explain that here shortly. So now that this is out of here, to increase your chance of the replacement flyback being something that will give you longevity for operation. I'm going to show you what you need to do. So 2 issues here is they didn't screw it back in, and they did not trim the G2 wire here. So, and we'll take a closer look at this split damage here. So this is the potting. Inside of here, the potting was insufficient, and the 2 windings shorted, and it cooked a hole in the side, and that's all that potting material. It's cooking and arcing inside and oozing its way out. So there you go, very obvious. So on the replacement here, we're going to install it, but I'm going to show you how to do it properly. So what you need to do is you need to take this G2 wire and run it through the opening in the side here, because for the inductance of how this needs to be, the wire needs to be a specific length and it needs to be routed properly. So it needs to be roughly like so, coming out through this hole, and then it goes directly to right here. So we'll go ahead and try and get this in here with this bent up as it was. Oh, and the board's cracked also. That's what happens when you don't screw it together. Look at that. The board's cracked. Huh. We're going to have to... It's cracked across here. Maybe it's just the top half. We're going to have to wring all this out. Gosh dang it. It's never easy, is it? I'll bet you got cracked in shipping from not having this thing screwed in. But I don't blame anybody specifically. It's just, you know, you got to use a little common sense. If the other one had screws in it, it'd probably be a good idea to screw this one in, but it might be difficult to get this one in with how bent up the pins were. There we go, got it, okay. So she's in. Now, before you solder it, assuming you still have your original 2 screws, you want to put the screws in first. Then you solder it in, because it might end up leaning on you a little bit, but that's fine. Okay, I'm looking for some screws that we can use here. Let's see. That one will work quite nicely. How about another one of those? Do I have another one of those in here somewhere? Knowing my luck, probably not, but I really don't want to dump this whole thing out. No, that's not the right kind. Well, ta-da! Okay. So let's get this other one in here. That didn't work, did it? Okay. That's good. Now it is kind of leaning Tower of Pisa-ing over like that, but it's secure. You won't crack the board anymore. So I'm going to get this thing soldered in. Okay, so that's installed and cleaned up. Let's take a look here, make sure it's all good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. Yeah, that seems like it's all intact. So let's flip this back around and let's show you what I mean about this. So that G2 wire is now routed properly. We want to get this through here. And we have to trim this to fit. So roughly like, this. I'd say like that. And all this extra, you need to get rid of this because this will affect the inductance. And a lot of these replacement flybacks are failing because the wire's not routed properly and it's left too long. So this might be a tutorial video on how to replace the flyback on the G07 the correct way. And of course you want to add a little flux to this wire. Now of course your solder is going to have some flux in it, but to make a proper good connection you want to use some, whether you want paste solder or liquid solder, or I mean even stuff like this, whatever you want to use, get yourself some. I like to use the paste solder for stuff like this, and we're going to go ahead and And there you go. That's how you replace a G07 flyback, just like that. So now we have severely lowered the chances of this thing going bad on us. I mean, it very well may still go bad, but we've lessened the risk of it happening from any other reason of it just shorting internally. So the width coil appears to have been replaced, or it's in really good shape, one of the two. Okay, I think that's about it, except for the cap kit, which I could just do off camera, but yeah, someone has reflowed the video input header pins, and a decent job of reflowing a lot of other stuff, but there is a few things I want to hit on. But I think with that being done, I'm going to just do the cap kit and a little bit of reflow, and then we'll come back and hook it to a tube and give it a try, because I think that's about all we're going to have to do to this, is the flyback and the fuse and fix up the rest of the cap kit. And then I'm just going to change all the caps. Even though some of them have been already changed, I'm just going to do all of them. So, and it's never a bad idea to disconnect this connector and spray a little contact cleaner on these header pins, and then take this thing and put it on and off a couple of times. But you want to be careful, because a lot of these will break on you because they get the higher mileage G07s. This connector likes to get very brittle, so you want to be careful when doing that. But there we go, that's good. And again, this isn't going to be a tutorial for op checking an entire G07. I've already got videos on that. This is just going to be a quick video on replacing this flyback and how to put it in, how to install it properly. So we have verified through our light bulb test that our power supply is good. We have good B+, new F901, new flyback. Let me get the cap kit and the reflow done. I'll come back and we'll get it on a tube and we'll see what happens. Okay, so full cap kit, full reflow, inspection, everything is good to go. I can already hear you right now saying, hey, you forgot to check that crack in the board. Well, no, I didn't. I'm waiting until now. So we're going to go through here and verify that all of our traces here are in good shape. So that crack was around this way. So before we get too far into this, let's go ahead and check that. So our meter is set to continuity mode. And we'll just go ahead and check and make sure this one goes all the way through. So from here, all the way around through 1 to here. Okay, that's good. 2 is just here. 3 goes up to here. That's okay. This one goes to here. 4 is good. 5 is good. Let's check through this way. 44 ohms. Oh, because I'm on the wrong pad. This one goes... I did it again. There we go. That's good. 0. Let's check this one through here to there. Let's check that. 7 runs up through this way. That's good. And let's check this. That's also good. And it doesn't look like the board is cracked completely through, because looking at it from the right angle with the light, I don't see any cracks in the board from the back side. It was just that top side. So it's not cracked completely through the board. It's just cracked on the top side. So got lucky there, but okay, well, I guess if that's all good, we've got the whole bottom of the chassis all cleaned up and everything, and top side's in good shape, so I think we're ready to throw it on a tube and just see if it works. If it does, we'll set our B plus to 120, make some adjustments, make sure it's working good, and call it fixed. I do notice now that the curl mod hasn't been done. 50 volt 22 is what that is. And I'm not sure why I didn't notice it until just now, but the curl mod is not done. So what we do for the curl mod is this cap right here, C501, we take that out and it's just completely discarded. You can throw it in the garbage, save it, whatever. Then we remove C303, which is up here. So some of these have an issue with the top of the image being curled over, and this is a mod to fix that. So we discard C501, we take C303 out and put it in where C501 used to be. I didn't open the holes up. I was just trying to do this without much effort, and it's biting me in the butt because I can't keep this in here without doing this. Nope. When you try to skirt the proper way to do things, it always bites you. Okay, so there we go. Just gonna real quick do and do. Okay. Now we take a 50 volt 22 microfarad electrolytic and put it where C303 used to be. Now I don't remember if it goes in negative towards one side or the other, or which side is negative, which side is positive, because the original polycap was not polarity specific. But if we ohm this out, maybe we can figure out which side is negative. And again, continuity mode. Here's our ground. Yeah, so neither one of these read as negative. So I don't have one on hand. I'm pretty sure it's negative to the outside, but let me see if I can So I only have two G07 cap kits on hand, and they're going to be used for the other two of these that I got. So this one I just used, I grabbed, up here off camera, I have a whole bunch of bins with a bunch of different caps in there, and I just used those caps on here to do this cap kit. I'll have to order some more, but because of that, I didn't get any of this stuff out. So let's see if I can grab this and that curl mod 50 volt radio capacitor in the closer holes at C303 with the positive lead and the hole closest to the edge of the chassis. And I got it backwards. So positive goes towards the very end, and it tells you to put it like this. So there we go. And all right, so that's the way it needs to be. This is the way it's got 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 to be. Now, I know nobody out there knows that song. If you do, then, I'll come shake your hand. I'll fly to wherever you are and I'll come shake your hand. Or drive. Okay. So, positive side and the hole closest to the edge of the board, so negative goes inside. And with that, we are done. Curl mod complete, everything is ready. So that is how you do that, and we also showed you how to do or install the flyback the correct way. A lot of people will install a replacement flyback, it'll last a couple of days and explode because they didn't do it right. So that's how you do it. So let me get a picture tube and we'll throw this on there and we'll see what happens. Okay, so we got everything hooked up to an original G07 tube and yoke and all that. We have our anode, neck, yoke, ground power video, and there's no remote board because the pots are all on the chassis itself. We got our meter set up here to read our B+, which again attaches to right there on the B+ resistor. And we have my Mortal Kombat 2 PCB connected. And as far as the video, I have a little connection there to go to the input headers here. But on the G07, for any regular standard JAMA game, you want to have your sync coupled to pins 2 and 3 on the sync connector. So for the non-JAMA games, you can use pins 5 and 6 there on the main connector, but for the secondary sync connection there for a standard JAMA game, you want to use pins 2 and 3 spliced together. You can see my little solder joint right there, and it's going to pins 2 and 3. So on this type of setup for a JAMA game, you want to use pins 2 and 3 together or you'll have sync problems. So with all this being connected, we can go ahead and power this up and see what we get. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Success. I know we didn't check the HOT or anything, but when the flyback fails, that fuse goes before it even has time to damage the HOT. So 99% of the time, the HOT will be just fine. But we're 119 volts, close to 120, and this tube is old and tired, so it takes a while. But hey, look at that, right out of the gate, works. So the only thing wrong with this was a bad flyback. And I'm sure the original caps were fine too, but I wanted to go ahead and recap it. And there you have it, it works. So obviously we need to make some adjustments, but I want to get this closer to 120. Oh, sorry. So I'm going to adjust the B+ pot here. Never ever use a metal tool to do this, but I'm using a metal tool and we want to get to 120, or try to anyway. There we go, 119.7, close enough, nice and steady, fantastic. So let's see if I can adjust the screen pot here, get a little bit more brightness. That's not bad. Let's adjust our focus here, and focus looks good, but of course colors are all off. I should have put all these to center position before I started. I normally do that, but I kind of got a little overzealous with wanting to replace that flyback. And those seem pretty good, but yeah, not too bad. There's no sense in really going through and doing full-blown adjustments on this, but yeah, it's fixed. So for the purposes of this video, easy for me to say, we're good. See? So yeah, I'll let this run for a couple of hours here and make sure nothing explodes or blows up, but I think it's probably going to be good because we've got everything routed properly as I had explained. And I might make some more tweaks just to see if I can get this looking as best as it can, just to verify it's all okay. But yeah, there you go. It's a little dim, yeah. Let's turn it up a bit. And a little bit, see if we can get our focus looking better. Ah, there we go. Well, in person it's not bad, but there you go. Halfway decent. Colors could use some more adjustment, and I'll go through and play with the vertical size, position, shape, and horizontal size and position. I'll go through and make sure all that stuff works, but I'm assuming it does because we have a good solid image. So, all right, again, there we go. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more. The other two G07s, I'm going to go through those as well, and if it's the same problem as this one, I'm not really going to chronicle that on the channel here. If either one of those have a different type of problem that needs to be addressed that I haven't shown or showcased before, I'll make a video on those. But if not, it's just going to be this one. So stay tuned to see if there's any other video on the other ones. If not, it'll just be this one. And otherwise, there'll be more content coming soon. So thank you very much again for watching. I appreciate it. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Comment down below, and we'll see you next time.